everyone, welcome to Rules You Get Wrong. As always, my name is Jay, and today I'm going to discuss the game. It was the Space Wolves versus Orks versus Space Wolves game. And now that I'm making battle reports again, I figured I should address the rules you get wrong about this battle report. There were a few we got wrong. And I figured might as well do it. Now that I'm making battle reports again for you guys, might as well do rules you get wrong and discuss. That way we all learn together. Now, before I start, I have to state that John was an amazing battle report opponent. I had a great time against him. We had a lot of fun, and there were a lot of rules mistakes, mostly on the Space Wolf side, but that wasn't it wasn't too big of a deal. Basically, we were playing for fun, first of all. Second, as David, his father, actually mentioned in the comments, he hasn't played that many games of 40k, and he hadn't played any new in the new 7th edition. And on top of that, I don't play Space Wolves, so there were a lot of rules that just we did not really realize on the Space Wolves side. But by no means do I ever think he was cheating. He wasn't cheating by any means, really, people. It was just rules we just, we forgot some, or we hadn't realized about the psychic powers. But I'll go with that in great detail. But as I said, John was a great opponent. I had a great time playing against him, and by no means do I think he was actually cheating. And I don't think most of the rules that were changed would actually have affected the game too much, other than the psychic powers. But to be fair, as you saw in the game, I denied the witch pretty much every psychic power that he had. So, and the fact that he didn't have divination, I'm okay with. So we'll get to the rules. Or I'll just go over some of the comments as well. First of all, I know some of the people really liked, like Robert Lane said, and that's sort of Orc list, playing them like that is unorthodox and fun. Exactly, and that's what I think I'm going to be doing a lot with battle reports. I'm going to be having a lot of fun playing some unorthodox lists, especially with Orcs and Tyranids and stuff, and having a good time, because that's what the game's about, having fun. Battle reports should be fun and entertaining, and that's what it's about. And then there's obviously a discussion about the new rules. Now I'll be doing our new rules review on Monday. It looks like the can wall list or the walker list will be changed because you can't take Death Dreads as troops. Oops. But you can take more you can take more cans in a squad. So that'll be fun. Cool stuff there. Zach Zarita stated, if this is 7th ed, then the Wolves don't get their psychic table anymore due to the FAQ GW released. Yeah, apparently. That was really weird. And when I read that, I was shocked, and then I went online and checked the FAQ, and you're right, Zach Zarita. Those Space Wolves lost their psychic powers, which is really weird. I understand why. And you are completely correct according to the FAQ. So that's true. So basically, in the end, John should not have been able to choose the psychic powers. But as I mentioned, this was his first 7th edition battle report, and I was not completely up to date with Space Wolves, and neither was he, and it's okay. We had a great time, we had a lot of fun, and I denied the witch pretty much every chance I got anyway. So, I don't think the psychic powers really influenced the game too much, but you are correct, and I'm not trying to minimize that, and John was awesome. So, yes, the only thing that another person left a comment, Son of the Wolf King, said the only thing that remains is Nijal's Stormcaller ability. That is true. But yes, no more Jaws or anything like that. Space Wolves lost their specific psychic powers. Unfortunately, it happens. Steve's Corner. Has anyone told Jay that cans sit on 4s? As their grots. You are right, Steve. You are 100% right, Steve Corners. And if you notice in the battle report, turn 1, I said 5s, but then between turn 1 and turn 2, I realized my mistake. There were a few mistakes that we realized during the game, and that was one of them. Most of them were on the Orc side, because I was like, oh my goodness, of course they're grots. Why am I rolling for 5s? I'm rolling for 4s. And then from then on, turn 2 on, I believe I was rolling 4 pluses, and I was minusing 3 from the scatter distances of the Grotzukas. So you are right, I did catch that mistake during the game, but you are 100% correct, and hopefully that stays true in the next codex, because this codex is a little old, but I can't wait. Steve's Corner, once again. Also, aren't power axes only +1 strength and also unwieldy? You are correct, and once again, that was one of the mistakes that we caught. The first time we did it, I think we actually announced that it was a mistake. Yeah, or sorry, Power Axe / Frost Axe are two different things. And we did catch, and we did have the correct one, I believe. So I know your concern. Some other people had it, and so did we when playing it. But then we discussed it with Dave. Dave knew the rules a little bit better than us, and for Space Wolves at least. And we were using the correct weapon, I believe. So that's a good point. But I think we were using the correct weapon. Jay, you don't work for MWG anymore. Please don't say awesome sauce on camera. It's just painful. Okay. I do like the word awesome sauce. I got it from Dave. I agree. I'm not going to say nut sauce. But some people disagree, say awesome sauce all the time. We'll see. Maybe I'll cut it. Maybe I'll do an intermediate. Archon, Timatron. Geez, the kid with his amazing flying Thunderwolves. Alright, the movement phase, I completely allowed it. He did move around bases, but I completely allowed it. Thunderwolves have 12-inch movement. And at that point, I know which turn you're referring to, it wouldn't have mattered too much. Because 12-inch movement and their assault range, yeah. He moved around a lot, but seriously, it was a very minimal impact on the game. I do agree that he should have, went around the bases and stuff. But as I said, John was not, I truly, wholeheartedly believe that John was not cheating. Not intentionally. He was being a great battle report. He was bantering with me. We were having a lot of fun. And that's what mattered to me. Not the end result. Space Wolves crushed Orks in the end, but my list was fun, and that's the point. How did the Thunderwolves charge? This is from Bibadot1? Bibadot1? I don't know how you pronounce your name. How did the Thunderwolf charge after he regrouped on turn 2? That should be impossible. It's because they have the Nation Know No Fear, which another person left in the comment, Forest Castle, thank you very much. They have the Nation Know No Fear, which means they can regroup automatically without having to pass a test, and then they can act as normal. So that's what happened. They regrouped, moved 12 inches again, and then they can assault as possible. Now one little Thunderwolf cavalry was the bane of my existence. It was pretty funny. Captain Goldteeth. I bet Jay is going to freak out when he finds out Ludas are reduced by 10 points. A Luda next to Codex? I hope you mean squad. Because if that's 10 points a Luda, that's a cheap Luda. But that's awesome. Yes! I'm excited. I love Ludas. Ludas are great. Thank you, Captain Goldteeth. XYZ, dude. 00. Hey man, Space Wolves are the Sons of the Storm, so they paint their armor to match. Good point. Also, Space Wolves lost all their Union Psychic powers, which, as I mentioned, you are correct. Along with the rest of the Imperial armies. That's true. Belden said, Thunderwolves are Strength 5 and have Rending. Are your Dreads armor 15? No. The reason was we didn't realize they had Rending. And if that's true, I double-checked. I think they do have Rending. And if that's the case, the normal guys should have been able to attack my Dreads much easier. Of course, they still would have needed, 4s to hit, 6s to rend, and then a 3-up to do something. So the odds are the amount of attacks, they probably would have been able to rend a model or two. So that's true. Obviously, I'm not trying to minimize your point at all. You are correct. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game, because as you saw, the Orks got pretty destroyed. But they should have been destroyed slightly faster. You're right. Green Knight. Why are the Space Wolves on lava stands? Kind of dumb. I personally disagree with you. Green Knight, you have the right to your opinion. But I really loved, I personally loved the paint scheme. They were painted up by David Battaglia, the father of John. And the father of John, his official title. And... yeah, he had a really cool story, which I believe he put into the comment section as well. He had a really cool story about how when they got close to the sun, it becomes volcanic. And I just loved it, because Space Wolves are a cool-looking army, but they're kind of boring with their grays. And I thought his bases really brought out it was a really cool base. Now, I know some people say that you shouldn't outshine your models with the bases, but I love the look of them. I thought they were well-painted, and the lava was great by hand, so... David... hands off to you. That was awesome. Great job. And I know some people disagree with it, but obviously that's all right. We can all disagree with each other. But thank you very much for your comment, Green Knight, and I hope you leave more in the future. Metalhead Tribe, nice report. The time of the orc is nigh. I agree. Why? Exactly. I agree. Forest Castle. Well, use both need to read these rules and FAQs. It's pathetic. Forest Castle. I know we made mistakes. And I understand your point, Forest Castle. I am a battle report maker. I should know the rules. I should. Of course, this was only my second, 7th... I don't think we made that many 7th edition mistakes for the rules. We did make 7th edition specific army mistakes, a lot with the Space Wolves. Now, as I said, and I believe this was left in the comments as well, as I mentioned, John is not that familiar with 40k, and this was his first 7th edition battle report, and he's, it's Space Wolves, so Space Wolves did have a bunch of changes, and I agree, it's my job that I should learn them all, but I need to make the mistakes once usually. Now that I've learned these mistakes for Space Wolves, I'm not going to make them again, and John's not going to make them again. And as I mentioned, I have no doubt that John was playing a straight game with me. He was not trying to cheat, and everything he did, I was watching, and like as I said, I allowed a lot of the stuff, so don't hate on John. Hate on me. I'm the battle report maker. He is just someone who's new to the hobby and even newer to 7th edition. As I said, he's a good guy. JW Soul, good job. I recommend showing the whole table on turn end so the viewers get a better picture on what's going on. In general, pull back the camera a bit. Sure. In general, pull back the camera a bit. Sure. No problem. I will pull back the camera a bit when I'm doing my dice rolls, and in the end, as you suggest, I'll do a pan of the entire table rather than just where the action is. Cool stuff. Johan, it's either Johan DK, 1979. Fun game, many rules mistakes. It happens, as I said. Cover save from the Bastion should be 3+, if I recall correctly. Thunder Puppies got Rending, you are correct. And Fragging Cracker Nades, we forgot the Cracker Nades, yeah, exactly. And a Bolt Pistol in close combat. So the Big Mech, instead of fisting him, they can't move through enemy models, etc., etc. Yep. Space Puppies can't use the psychic powers. Yep. In fact, read the FAQ in general. Exactly. Good points. You addressed them all. And you're right. We forgot, as I said. I did have I don't know if you're referring to, I gave my guy a Power Fist for the Power Claw for the Big Mech, but I don't know. It's okay. You missed 2. So, as someone who plays both armies, the 7th Ed FAQ took away the Space Wolves psychic powers. That's true. You can use divination. Yep. Also, you no longer need to roll for counterattack. They just get it. That's trite. And that's also one of the rules that we started off with one rule, and then we realized that we were wrong. We started off by rolling, and obviously he passed it. And then the next turn, I believe we actually mentioned it implicitly in the battle report. They just get it. You are correct. Thank you very much, Amos 2. Robin says, hey Jay, please do more 40k. I will definitely do more 40k. I'm going to try to keep a good balance of 40k and War Machine, but obviously 40k is where my heart is, and it's my first game. And I'm going to keep making battle reports as long as I can with 40k. 40k is awesome. Yep. Kansas Ballistic Skill 3 from Brian Dickerson. You are correct, and as I said, I did catch that. I just, in my head, I thought, Orks, Roland, Ballistic Skill 2, but I was wrong, and I caught it. I like your table. If you had better lighting, your battle reports would be pretty awesome, I think. That was from Robbie Keith. Thank you, Robbie Keith. I'm actually going to order some lighting kits in the near future, and I want to get one soon because, yeah, I agree. The lighting in that room is a little dark, and I want to bring more lighting into the area, and that way we'll just have some great battle reports, and that's what I want to produce for you guys, as best from battle reports as I can. Yes, and David Battaglia, also the gentleman who I played in the second battle report, which is in the Warp, he did leave a lot of comments, and he addressed several of them. And as he said that John is, he hasn't played the new rules yet, which I completely agree. John's a good guy. Do not hate on him at all. I was the one allowing the mistakes, and on top of that, I just didn't know Space Wolves very well. He's a new player, so We got to give him a little lenience there. But I agree. I'm the one making the battle reports. I should be catching mistakes, but it's all good. Another thing about the Frost Axe. And... yeah. And then they mentioned about crack grenades. They did have crack, which we did catch as well. Again, we did catch some of the mistakes about the crack grenades. We caught it later in the game because the frag and crack grenades we caught when the Death Dreads assaulted the squad of Grey Hunters. So we realized that they had crack grenades and frag grenades. It's all good. Apparently, there were a couple building mistakes of the list. But it happens. You know, as I said, we were playing for fun. I had a great time. John came to play for fun. I came to play for fun. We had a good time. In the end, Orks lost. It happens. Maybe with a new edition, different story. But we did make mistakes, and that's what this rule's about. We learn together, right? You guys point out your mistakes. I'm not taking offense by any means, and I'm going to learn from the mistakes and try not to make them in the future. Grots have Ballistic Skill 3. Thunder Wolves have frag grenades, crack grenades, rending. No more psychic powers that are specific to Space Wolves. I'm happy about that one. That's great news. And yeah, so awesome stuff. So thank you so much, all you people out there, for leaving comments in the videos in the comment section of that battle report. As you said, I'm not taking your comments lightly. I'm going to remember these things in my head from now on. Yes, I will not try to make the same mistakes twice. And as I said, please don't hate on John. He's a really good kid. We had a great time playing, and I don't think he was cheating intentionally by any means at all. If you made a rule mistake, if we both allowed him to make a rule mistake that gave him a benefit, it happens. But obviously, we forgot that they had rending, and we forgot that they had crack grenades. So in the end, it just comes down to army knowledge. It wasn't cheating by any means. And yeah, and I like their paint job. So until next time, stay tuned for definitely more 40k battle reports in the near future. And until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.